Hello, welcome to the Agile Leadership Chat Room. And today we are going to be talking about a leadership resume, and we are going to be addressing most of your questions on what makes a resume outstanding. And I have here with me a mindset coach, Patrick Njapa, and he has been in the game for a very long time. We are going to be having a very great conversation that will help you more or less tweak your resume to a format that you can really like it. We're going to talk about what the recruiters are looking for out there. What actually make a resume a leadership resume? And what are some of the stuff that they don't want to see on a resume? And most importantly, how can you stand out in your career? Now, if you're joining in, stay tuned because it's going to be a great conversation. And definitely at the end of the session, we're also going to be sharing probably some samples of resume that you can be able to pick from and then get into that leadership role. It doesn't matter which of the industry where you are. I have with me here Patrick Njapa, all the way from Calgary, Canada. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the Agile Chat Room.
Hello, Dr. Francis. It's always a good pleasure to be here with you and spend some time having great conversations.
Yes, I remember the last time we had a live show that was somewhere like 4 years back, right?
Yes. I've been missing you, my friend.
Yes. Tell me a bit about your book. I know we wrote a couple of books together. I also seen you've written some other books as well. And you want to talk a bit about that and introduce yourself to the audience.
Oh, okay. If I want to start with the book,
Yeah.
I am going to do the book launch on March.
Wow.
In March, and the book is about standing out and
Mm.
learning more and earning more. And as you can tell, French is my first language, so I
That,
think in French and I speak in English. So bear with me.
yeah.
So stand out, earn more. The main subtitle is the a faith-based approach to enhancing your life and growing your career. So one thing that is very important to me is to stay aligned with my faith.
Yeah.
So I am like going through the Bible
Mhm.
and looking for some principles that we can really use in order to make our career a great career, and in order to make our life a great life. So, this is what the book will be about. The book will be ready by March 2025.
Wow, perfect. Yeah, but and that kind of bring out the basic of our conversation and why people should stay back and listen. We're talking about how to become more in life. Now, today
Mhm.
I want to focus about those who are within the career space professionals, how to move up the ladder. Moving up the ladder in your career is the first step to gaining freedom. And today we want to talk about resumes, but more focusing on leadership resumes, what make it great and what make it stand out. Now, Patrick is a mindset coach, and for I think more than close to 7 years that I've known him, he's been
Yes.
very consistent. If you're more of the French community, you definitely have been seeing his posts on mindset
LinkedIn.
and becoming your best self. And now he is bringing that knowledge into the English community, which is one of the reasons I'm really excited to host him today. So, the first question for you, Patrick, why should we care about resume and why the focus on leadership resume?
Why should we care about resume? I believe that the resume is like your business card.
Yeah.
It's like this business card that you are handing out during a networking session or when you meet someone. And that business card needs to be able to say enough so that the person wants to give you a call. So if you are giving a business card to someone and that person doesn't like what is written on the card, that person most likely will never give you a call. But if your business card is telling something that the person is looking to hear or is most curious about, then the person will say, okay, I like this. I would like to learn more. So that is the main job of the resume. I mean, of the resume to give. It's like a teaser
Yeah.
to give the reader enough motivation to say, okay, I want to move on. I want to learn more. And why leadership resume? When I say leadership resume, by that I want to say the legacy blueprint. It's
Mm.
like a legacy blueprint.
Yeah.
With your resume, you are talking about the kind of legacy you are presenting.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know you. We know your resume. We see your resume. What is this resume telling us about you?
That's right.
How do you stand out by showing this leadership resume? That resume that is telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time, what happens is people will give you a list of um, activities or
Yeah.
responsibilities. They will tell you, I work for company A and I did A, B, C. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a resume, a leadership resume, for instance, I will tell you from this time to this time, I was working maybe, let's say, for Apple,
Yeah.
and my job was this. And underneath, I'm going to explain why I was recruited.
Mm.
Maybe because it was a new role, or maybe because I was replacing someone, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe because they called me to come in because they know that I'm a good salesperson and I can bring the results from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So I need to be able to tell that story through the resume. So it's not only about telling all the responsibilities I've been through, but I also need to tell something about the company
Mm-hmm.
I have been working for, because sometimes the reputation, when it is a positive reputation of a
Yes.
company, can have a huge impact on us. So this is one of the ways I can do to create a leadership resume that is going to tell a powerful story. I can do more, but let's start with that.
Thank you very much. You touch a lot about some really good quality when it comes to resume writing. One of the first point you made, which is very important, is that it is like you're handing out your personal ID and what is going to make that person like you or dislike you. And one of the biggest challenge, which I think when it comes to the space of leadership resume, is someone hiring uh, a resume writer to write a resume for them.
Mhm.
Let's start from there. What is your take on this when it concerns to when it aligned to leadership resume? Is, let's say I'm about to, let's say, apply for a position with Apple, right? Like a senior manager or so. What is your take on me giving someone my resume to write for me?
What do you mean by what is my
Or
take?
hiring someone who's an expert to write that
Oh,
resume.
okay.
What
So,
if that is a way to go? What should we consider? What is the do and don't when it comes to putting up a resume as a leader?
okay. So, whether you are hiring someone,
Yeah,
or I want to say hire someone, maybe because I'm a career coach and and I have writing resumes, but I
yeah.
might be biased. But anyways, whether you are hiring someone or you are doing it by yourself,
Uh-huh.
there is this one very important tool that I will recommend,
Yeah.
which is master resume. Having a master resume. Why am I saying this? Because I said earlier that leadership resume is also a legacy blueprint. You
Yep.
want to tell people what you have been able to accomplish in the past. You are not just talking about activities, but you are you are showing the impact of your contribution where you have been. This is how the master resume comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that as I was preparing people for jobs interview, and even for resume, because when you come to me, the first thing that I would do is to have at least 1 hour with you, asking you questions about your resume. And I realize that when they come to me and I'm asking them questions, they don't even know. I'm saying, okay, at this position, what did you do? They don't remember. And they
Uh-huh.
say, okay, nothing very specific. But by asking probing questions, then they will come back and say, oh yeah, I remember, I did this, I did that. So the master resume is like a yeah, an inventory of everything that you're doing.
Uh-huh.
Let's say I am a human resource manager for a company today,
Yes.
and maybe at the end of the week or maybe at the end of the month, I will sit down and say, okay, what have I done this month or this week
Uh-huh.
that is very impactful? It means that I'm going to sit down and say, this is my master resume, and uh, for this company, for this title, this month I did this. Maybe it was recruiting, I don't know,
Yeah.
an engineer for the company. And
Uh-huh.
I will write down what I did, what was the challenge I faced, who I work with, in
Uh-huh.
what condition, in what situation, why was I doing this? Maybe the company was restructuring, maybe the company was uh, having a new equipment and then we need engineers. So I write everything down. At the end, maybe I can have a master resume of 10, 20, 25 pages. That's okay. That's not a big deal. But the thing is, tomorrow, when I will need to write a leadership resume,
Yeah.
because I want to show that impact, I already have the facts.
Yes.
Now, I don't have to create anything or I don't have to recreate anything.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have to be stressed because I feel like I am forgetting about one key important information. Because I already have them, I will just go to my master resume and pick what is very relevant.
Yeah.
I will put it in my resume to show the impact I was able to create. Now,
Yeah.
because it is like my business card that I have handed over,
Uh-huh.
they will want to learn more. They will call me. And when I come, as I am explaining, I feel very comfortable explaining
Uh-huh.
because I am not faking anything. It's not like I'm just telling a story just to make them happy. They can feel the authenticity through what I'm saying
That's right.
because my master resume is giving me all the data I need to
Uh-huh.
be confident in presenting my offer. So
All right.
that's one key tool that I really recommend that we use when it comes to create a leadership resume.
But you said something that's very important, and I want to reiterate on that because a lot of people miss it. You spoke about a master resume, and you said something a master resume can be 25 pages. So some people did not really catch that point. And correct me if I'm wrong. What you mean is that any point that is on your resume, you should be able to elaborate it in a whole detail in such a way that if someone asks you a line on your resume, you can clearly say exactly what you were doing. So the first step to creating a leadership resume is to master every point. It might even take you 25 pages to write those points, elaborate exactly what does that mean. Before now, you can now tailor it to a shorter form where you give it out.
That's
And
it.
the second thing you said, which is also very important, is the fact that whenever you apply for a position, you go to your master resume, you pull out the points that are important, and then you tailor it to fit that leadership position.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. You said it even better. That's exact. So the master resume is your personal document.
Yeah.
It's your personal document. It's for you. It's your point of reference.
Yeah.
So you go there now because not everything there will be important for the job you're applying for.
That's
So
right.
you go and you sort it out and you say, okay, I want to use this point.
Mhm.
Knowing that these 1 or 2 lines that I will be using, if they ask me a question about it, I already have all the data. I already have all of the facts. So
Yes.
I can really, really support my position about this and make sure that I am doing something good. For instance, let's say you have been hired maybe back maybe 5 years ago for a specific position.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at that time, when they were calling you, they said specifically, you are being called because we saw this in you, and this is the situation of the company, and this is why we want you to come.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that when you write your resume, for instance, you can say underneath the name of the company you're working for, you can say, okay, hired to maybe to turn the service or the department or the team into XYZ,
Yeah.
or hired to create XYZ, or
Mm-hmm.
hired to move the sales results or outcomes from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And you can only do that when you have those details
Mm-hmm.
stored somewhere. Because if you want to sit and say, okay, what did I do? What did I do again? What did they say? It will be very, very difficult for you to do that.
In
But
fact,
when you have a master resume, you have something to step on.
let me come in there. You also brought in another point, very important, and you said when you're thinking about what to say, you lose that confidence and distrust when you're put.
Bingo, bingo. That's it. Because
So
sorry to interrupt you,
yeah,
because they can feel that you are trying to put together some ideas, or maybe you're lying.
that's right.
Your energy never lies. So when you do that, they can feel that something is wrong, something is off. Go ahead.
And that brings us to the point of preparation. We said earlier, or you have people prepare them for interviews and all of that.
Mhm,
And most often, a lot of people feel like when I talk to many people, they say, okay, Dr. Francis, I already know these, I already know these. I think the only thing I need is a resume and I'm good to go. And I always ask them, so if I create a resume and give you now and you get called for interview, will you be able to defend that? And they say yes. I was like, okay. Now, before we do that, let's just do a pre-test interview to see if you're ready. It's like,
mhm,
oh no, for today I'm not ready. I just need to do one or two things together. And this is one of the biggest challenge why it's taking people averagely longer than needed to get to where they want to go to.
mhm.
The first thing is they want to climb up the ladder. I teach people on Scrum. I help people to get job in this aspect of Scrum,
Yeah.
which is a leadership role, right? And most of the people that want to transition into that leadership role, which is dealing with people, come from tech background, some background that might not have required them to be in the face of engaging with people, understanding how the mindset of people work, and all of that. But they're like, you know what? I think I can do A, B, C, D. Now, that take us to our next question. What is the importance of let's say that I come to you, I've been working in these companies and other stuff. Why will I need you? Why don't just I go into the interview to what's the importance of getting that pre-preparation even when you have the resume? What is the importance of coming to you for preparation, or what's the importance of having someone that can coach you to better present your resume?
Hmm. Now you're getting into something I love, mindset. I
Okay,
love it.
let's talk
But before
about
I answer your question, I have been living with a lady now 2 months.
yeah,
She came from Cameroon
yeah,
as a new immigrant,
yeah.
and my wife and I we decided to have her live with us as she's doing her first steps in Calgary and everything. And so we have been helping her find a job
Yes,
by her own mouth. I mean, with her own mouth and by her own words.
yes,
She told me this morning, because she got a job and she's starting on Sunday.
yeah,
And she told me this morning,
yeah,
I believe that I got this job because when I went for the interview, I was very calm. I was
okay,
confident.
perfect.
So meaning that no stress, no this, no that, because of the preparation.
I love that.
because of the preparation.
Yeah,
Les Brown will tell you, you better be prepared for something and not get it, rather than not being prepared for something and then you get it. Because if you get it at that time, you'll be in trouble.
big
You,
trouble.
you will be in trouble,
Yeah,
in deep, deep trouble. So you need to prepare yourself, because when you are prepared, your level of stress is very low.
that's
You
right.
are, and now it is like in your mind, there is clarity.
Yeah.
Your head is not like a pot with boiling water on the
Mhm.
stove. Your head is calm, and you can clearly uh, uh, um, how do you say this? I mean,
Translate.
say what you mean, transfer your idea. You can clearly say that.
Yeah,
That's one thing. The
that's right.
other thing is this. Number two, I want to share is this: your self-image. The way you see yourself is
Mm.
very, very important.
All right.
And if you look at all the courses you have been through since you started going to school until now, there is no course telling you how to understand your self image and how to improve your
Wow.
self image.
Hmm.
And sometimes people will tell you what you see is what you get. So
Hmm.
if you see yourself as someone who doesn't deserve this, you will never get it.
That's right.
So you need to work your mind in a way that you can see yourself. You can do some visualization exercises to see yourself in front of the recruiters, in front of the managers, having a nice conversation. And I always say this, that an interview is a conversation.
That's right.
And the conversation is much easier, much smoother when you have a master saving, a master resume,
Yeah.
because you already know what you'll be talking about.
Okay.
Already know what are the key points. You don't have to write everything down. Just keep the main line. What are the key points? And then you start like a PowerPoint. Now you start elaborating during your resume, your interview.
Interview.
So first, preparation will give you that self-confidence, that calmness that you need to be able to express yourself. And
Okay.
I can get it. Sometimes it's very stressful when you get into the room. You have like 4 or 5 people sitting to the other side of the table. You feel like, oh my goodness, is is this a
This
tribunal or what? Are they going to kill me?
yeah.
So and I had a last idea that is going away. But anyways, let's
Mhm.
start with those two and say that when you prepare yourself, you
Yeah.
are very, very calm, and this is helping you perform well.
That's right. I do agree with that. Now, in my community, those who are looking for a job, we do like pre-preparation and we also do like mock interviews.
Yes.
I had a scenario. Uh, I have coaches who are already working, so they kind of there. In one of the scenario, were about 8 of the coaches that were in the room, right? So we sent this person an invite, like you're going for a rare interview. Now
Mm-hmm.
she came into the room, and she was expecting to meet one person for an interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came into Zoom, and there were 8 people, and at the first thing she freaked out and she put off
Well,
her camera. I was like, "Oh no, calm down." She's come. It's like 8 people, and she could not say anything. She's like, "You know what?
yeah.
I'm not prepared." It's like, now when we asked her, because when we try to put them through these different phases, now we can now coach them on how to deal with people. So after, when we're mentoring her, like, but what made you kind of freak out? I said, I've been preparing for to get into this room for the past 2 weeks. But then when I met people, I freak out. And you spoke earlier about mindset and being able to see yourself there, which is
Yes.
a person. And many people most often do not pay attention to that phase of preparation. Now, I spoke to somebody yesterday. I spoke with them 2 years ago, and they were in the process. Right. I told them about a program to help prepare people to get into Scrum interview, and
Mm-hmm.
told them, okay. You need to schedule an appointment on my LinkedIn on the top button. Just like book an appointment. We take time to talk together. So, oh no, I don't need an appointment. I just have one, two questions. I was like, if you really need help, then you want me to be able to ask you the right questions so I can help you.
Yeah,
No, okay, I have two questions. Like, what are your two questions? Number one, what's the cost of your program? I'm like, bro, I'm not selling anything. Number two, how soon can I get a job? It's like, I have no idea. Like, okay, then you don't have what I need. Now, after 2 years, the person has been to about three different places and they came back. Like, you're still in the journey. Why? They're leading with the cost and they're leading with the time. One of the things I tell everyone who is preparing for an interview that how soon you get a job is not in relation to how emotional or how badly you want it. It's how prepared and ready you are.
you are.
You can be so serious about getting a job, you can put out thousands of applications, but
Mhm.
if your mindset is not well aligned, and if you don't take the necessary step to prepare, you realize that every activities you're doing is prolonging your journey.
Exactly. And let me add this, because maybe we are saying this and people will feel like we are saying this because we are coaches and we want clients.
No.
That's not the point. That's not the point. Think of soccer.
Yeah.
Before a match, before a football game,
Yes.
what do they do? Before a basketball game, what do they do? Do they just wake up in the morning, grab their shorts, and come to the stadium? No.
No.
For many hours, they practice. And that practice is the preparation.
That's
When
right.
you see someone going to the Olympics and winning the gold medal after running maybe 10 seconds,
Hmm.
do you think that the person just woke up in the morning and
No.
came to no, for years they have been practicing
Yeah.
just to run 10 seconds.
Yeah.
When we are sending someone to the moon, when we when we are sending someone to the moon, what
Yeah.
happens to them? They practice, they do
That's,
simulations. Even
yes.
on Earth, they practice simulation like they are already in the moon.
The
So
moon.
that's why it is important to do the preparation. And that's also why that lady was kind of freaking out when
Yeah.
she came and saw 8 people, because in her mind, she was not seeing that.
Yeah.
So when you prepare, because making me go deep.
Go deep. Go deep.
Why is this also important?
Yeah.
Because our mind is making no difference, or our brain is making no difference between what is real and what is imagined.
Yes.
So when you are practicing as if you are in front, you are in the real situation,
Yeah.
you are already telling your body how to react
Mm.
when you will be in that situation in real time. So because your mind doesn't know if it is true or not, you're kind of tricking your mind to say, hey, next time, if you see this, this is how you need to react.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
when you come into a room, you see one, two, three, four, five, and more, you're okay, because your heart already know that, oh, that's fine. We've done this before. It's not a new thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. That is so powerful and so profound. Now, let's talk about the component of a master resume or the component of a leadership resume. What would be your recommendation on someone say, what do I need to put on my resume? What's the component? Is there any preferred order? Or what are some of the key points I should note when preparing my resume?
I think I kind of gave some answers to that earlier.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't I don't think we're going to reinvent the wheel.
Hmm.
From what I have been able to see, the difference comes through the kind of, or through how you display your information. For
Hmm.
instance, when you have your resume, you have your name, or some of your information. Then
Hmm.
you have the title. And then right underneath, you have maybe the profile or the summary.
Yep.
What are you telling in that summary? What are you saying there? So it is not all the resumes can have that kind of summary,
Mm-hmm.
but what is making your resume stand out is how you put information there.
Yeah.
So if the recruiter doesn't have time,
Mm-hmm.
only has maybe 10 seconds on your resume, and
Resume.
the only thing that the person can read is your summary.
Mm-hmm.
Is that summary strong enough
Wow.
to make them keep reading, or put your resume aside and say, hey, I want to call this person back?
Back.
So there you maybe have for how many years you have been doing what you've been doing,
Mm-hmm.
some of the key achievements or accomplishments that
Yeah.
you have been able to do. Maybe tell more about what are the values, what are some of the values that you really you really support or stand for.
That's
So
right.
those are some information. What kind of companies, and I know this can be different from one person to another based on their personality, their experience, and everything. But these are some of the key elements that you can put together to make this happen. So tell more about the number of experience, your
Mm.
values, what you have done before, what are some key results that you are proud of, so that when they read those two, three, or four, or even five lines, they already have like the big picture of who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
because they have the big picture, they want to learn more. So they will keep reading. And if they are still satisfied, then they will give you a call. So you have the first section where you have your names and everything,
Mm-hmm.
then the title, the job title, and then the summary, a very strong one. Pay attention to the words that you are choosing. Pay attention to the kind of information you are sharing there,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can start with your work experience. And
Yep.
like I said earlier, if I worked for Apple,
Yep.
I am going to mention Apple, but usually I don't stop there.
Yeah.
Let's say Apple is the number one cell phone provider. I'm saying something like that.
Yep.
I will add that. I will add Apple, leading company in XYZ,
Mm-hmm.
or company that won this specific award and X or YZ. Because when I'm presenting the company that way, I am also presenting myself that way.
Yeah.
Because if I work for them, their reputation is going also to rub off on me.
That's right. Wow. Thank you very much. That was a powerful one. Let's kind of shift down to the practical aspect of it. Now, when it comes to preparation, I know you already touched a whole lot on mindset, a whole lot on
Mhm.
people seeing themselves there. Based on your experience in helping people navigate towards job preparation, what are some of the major challenges you have seen for people who are like who come to you for the first time? Why would they come to you? Is it because they have no clue on how to prepare a resume? Is it because why should someone work with a professional in the process of them going towards a leadership job?
I believe, as we said earlier, they usually come because they need a resume.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why they come to you, or they come to me. They'll say, okay, Mr. Njapa, I need a resume, or I saw this job posting, I really want to apply, and please can you help me? And sometimes it is because they saw one of my posts, or because they attended one of my webinars and I said something that really resonates with them and they want to dig deeper. So they come to me because they want a resume.
Mhm.
But as I said, this is a leadership resume, and I also want my contribution to be a leadership contribution, meaning that an impactful contribution, because leadership is about impact. It's about how we can influence in a positive way others. So I'm not just going to sit down, craft a resume, and give it to you. I'm going to help you understand what is your value? Because all the questions that I'm asking is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you to dig deeper and go and find those answers that are going to be useful when it comes to crafting a very strong resume. So they will come to me because they want a resume, and then I will give them a resume. But in return as well, I will help them prepare very well to be comfortable with their job interview. I don't know, maybe I missed one part of your question.
Yeah. So now this is the reason why I was asking that question. Right?
Mhm.
Most of the people will come to me, come like, "Oh, Dr. Francis, I've been applying for the past 3 months. I'm having no call, and no one is calling me up for an interview."
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And sometimes they might have like, and some people was like, you know what, I've paid this number of XYZ people and they've worked on my resume. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I don't understand why I'm not getting interview or so. Right. So the reason why I asked that question is that there are people who might think the resumes are okay. They might not necessarily know that the problem is a resume problem.
Hmm.
And sometimes they might get calls and then they get even invited to interviews,
Yeah.
never get to the last phase. Right. And this most often are some of the things which I've seen, which are indicator that your resume might not really need a touch, but you are not representing your resume.
Hmm.
These are two things. There is the first thing is about getting a good resume. The second thing is about you becoming that resume. Because what I'm going to say one thing. Let's say you come to me and I see in your resume you have 15 years of leadership with top company. I'm excited to talk to you. And the first question I ask you, tell me about your engagement in organizational leadership or change management. And then you start telling me on your activities you do on a day to day. I like, wait a minute. This
What's
person,
the impact?
this person is talking about being in leadership, but they have no clue on what it takes to drive change or so. Right. And I asked you this question in the beginning, and that's why I'm bringing it back out. And I asked the question, what about those who hire professional writer and they just write them something and they send to them? Your approach, you sit down with them, you interview them, you work with them, you explain to them why A is here, why B is here. So you're not just giving them a resume, you're giving them the confidence and the mindset to be able to become that resume. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and this is the difference between what we say someone is a mindset and a leadership coach compared to someone is a resume writer. A resume
Hmm.
writer, I can use AI, pull all the best, craft you a resume, make sure that it made the application tracking system. You get 50 call in a day, but then when the recruiter and interviewer start talking to you, it's like, no, the resume, the person talking, I see a very big gap. And that is one of the main challenge why people are not moving from one place to another.
Yeah.
I'll do this and I'll roll over to you to kind of round up. Now, I interviewed for my company and we're looking for an agile product manager. And we went through over about 50 resumes. Now, less than 10 of them were qualified. Out of the 10 people that were interviewed, we needed to fill into position. We could only find one person. So we needed to relaunch everything again. But this is how important the resume is. Remember, a whole lot has already been eliminated because you cannot say you're a leader and your resume is not well presented. I can pick out mistake from the first point. I cannot get what I need from your resume in less than 30 seconds of glancing at it, right? Which is most of the important thing you have pointed in this video. It's been quite a whole lot of information. Now, Coach Patrick, I think we've said quite a lot, which we don't want to go back repeating over and over and over again. So, can you kind of give us a quick tip generally for people who are getting into the leadership position, not just on your resume? How do they prepare themselves mentally in order to spend less time in the process of learning that leadership role?
Okay, that's a very deep question, my friend.
Yeah.
And I really want to address the question. And before that, I would like to say, for those who are applying and not getting responses or not getting calls and stuff like that, also go back and question your way of applying, because sometimes people will apply
Mhm.
without even reading the job description,
Yep.
and that's why you can have so many resumes, but maybe only one or two are really qualified. Some
Mhm.
people are, and I have been guilty of this myself. I used to select a number of companies with only one resume. I select a number of companies and I go on my Yahoo, and then I just paste the email address of those companies and I hit send. I didn't even do the BCC. So all of them were aware of the fact that this guy who's applying for this position here is also applying to the other position, to the other company.
Mhm.
So that's a problem. So we need to sit down. I know that I was doing that because I was doing non-solicited
Yeah. Applications.
applications. Yes, that's how I was doing it. But that's not good, because you are telling the company that they are not important enough for you to sit down and really do
Mm.
the proper research. So I wanted to say that first. And the second thing now is, in general, I really believe that self-image is crucial.
That's right.
Is crucial. The way you see yourself is the way you will behave.
Wow.
If I see myself as someone who is shy,
Yep.
that image, because we think in pictures,
Mhm.
when I think, I see something. And the thing that I see, the image that I'm seeing, is going to create a specific type of energy.
That's right.
And that energy can make me move or not move.
No. Yeah.
So I think it is very good to work on our self image and to see ourselves as someone who really deserves the leadership role. You
Yeah.
can be technically perfect, but if you don't have that kind of vision of yourself, you cannot be a leader of many if you are not a leader of one.
Wow. Wow.
Start by leading yourself.
Wow.
And to lead yourself, you need to see yourself doing it.
Doing it.
Otherwise, how are we going to run a meeting? How are you going to give a feedback to your colleague? How are you going to communicate about the company's vision and everything?
Wow.
First, you need to work on yourself.
Yes,
Work on yourself to become that leader
Mhm.
so that you can lead others. And the the master resume
Yep.
can also be that tool that you use. It is like a journal. You sit and say, oh, I'm happy today, I was able to solve this problem. Today I was able to recruit this kind of employee for my company. Today I was able to help my company save 1 million, 2 million, 3 millions. You're happy to say that, and that is building your confidence and your self-confidence. So that's the main thing I would like to say here. There are so many else, but let's deal with this one.
Perfect. So you spoke about the master resume, which is very important for you to have. And for my fellow Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, I always talk about my master resume, which is like this is a sample where you can easily draw your ideas from.
Yes.
This is a master resume where which we've had so many people land jobs with. I'll just share the link in the chat. Whether you can go get that master resume template, it's gonna help you a whole lot understand what a resume that actually win is all about. All right.
Mm.
And for those who also are looking for a place to prepare for their Scrum Master interview, send me a direct message. We can talk about that. Coach Patrick, how can people easily reach out to you? How can they find you? They want to connect with you. They want to have a one-on-one with you. Do you offer such opportunity? How can they get to you?
One way, LinkedIn.
Okay.
Patrick Njapa on LinkedIn.
All right.
When
So
you get there, when we are connected, we're good to go. That's the easiest way to reach out to me.
look at the screen. The name Patrick Japa.
Patrick Njapa, yes, Patrick Njapa. And if
LinkedIn.
you're having hard time finding me, Dr. Francis can help you if you have some connection with Dr. Francis. But otherwise, on LinkedIn, Patrick Njapa, that's me. I'll be here. I should be able to reach out to you. Well, you can reach out to me.
Definitely, and you definitely should reach out. Patrick Japa has a whole world of knowledge when it comes
Oh,
mindset, when it comes to setting you right, when it comes to setting. I think the first book we wrote together, Coach Patrick, was also more on the finance and how
finance, yes,
finance
prosperity,
prosperity. So you
yes,
realize there's a whole deep connection between you creating a mindset that
yes,
gets you to a
yes,
leadership, you creating
yes,
that financial prosperity and all
yes.
that. So it's someone you definitely want to connect to. And
Yes.
it was definitely great talking to you, Coach Patrick. What's your last word for our audience today?
Believe in yourself.
Wow.
What you see is what you get. So if you see yourself, I mean, I'm closing my eyes as I'm doing this. If I see myself in that room,
Yeah.
sitting in that chair, running that kind of meeting, being a C-suite or being whatever, then because my mind doesn't make the difference between the reality and what is I'm just creating,
Mhm.
I will start moving towards that reality and I will get it.
Wow. Thank you. See your future in you now.
Now,
You're not
now,
seeing now, it means you need preparation. It means you need someone to help you become that person now.
this is what I would like to end with.
Yeah.
It is like closing your eyes, seeing the future, going there and bringing that future to the present and
Yeah.
start working on it so that it will become a reality.
Great. I love that. And Patrick is definitely an example of that. 7 years ago, we met, we were working together to write a book. We had a lot of live sessions together.
Yeah,
7 years
yeah.
after, you're still in the journey. So someone probably will see you, it's admiring to be like you, but then they're not aware that it's been a whole lot of preparation.
No, there's a background.
It's been a long road of preparation. And thank you for actually coming
My
out
pleasure.
with us today about how to become the best in terms of those who are applying for a leadership position. You need to become your resume. The way to become your resume is to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Hire the right coach, let them help you prepare. And I want to end with this. Many people look at working with coaches as expensive. But one thing they don't remember is that that coach might is going to give you something that will last you for a lifetime. I
Mm-hmm.
will ask people this question: what would be the cost of someone helping you to land a six-figure job, which is going to change your entire life? How much can you pay? What is the worth of that gift that person? It's priceless. So the reason why coaches will ask you to pay a fee, it's simply because of the law of value. If you pay nothing, you gain nothing.
Nothing.
It's not definitely because they're helping you by doing that. So People, the bigger goal, see yourself, see your future self in the you now. If you
Hmm.
cannot see that, it means you need to walk. Take that time, do the work, and see yourself become. Thank you very much, Coach Patrick, and I'm looking forward to host you again.
Thank you too. It was a pleasure.